Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss on his having arrived at the age of 23 by John Milton. First, we will discuss about the poet. His lifespan was from 1608 to 1674. He is considered as one of the greatest writers of English verse. He was a versatile poet, an adept linguist, and translator. He was proficient in Latin, Greek, and Italian. His epic poem was Paradise Lost, and this Paradise Lost is considered as a masterpiece of world literature. He wrote a number of political and theological essays. Next, we are going to discuss the background of this poem. John Milton wrote this poem just after he graduated from Cambridge. This poem is a reflection of his state of mind at that time. Milton here acknowledges that he may not seem as mature as some of his contemporaries, but expresses a desire to use his talents well and his trust in God's will for him over time. Let's discuss about this poem. This poem is a sonnet. Sonnet means a 14-line poem with a fixed rhyme scheme. The word sonnet is derived from the Old Occitan phrase sonnet meaning little song. Now we are moving into the line by line explanation of this poem. Let's go. How soon hath time, the subtle thief of youth, stolen on his wing my 23 year. Here, in the first two lines, John Milton is describing about time. Here, time is described as the subtle thief of youth. Subtle means cunning. Here, time is described as the cunning thief who stole all his 23 years. Who is he? He is John Milton. Here, John Milton is telling about his own life that the time stolen all his 23 years. Next line. My hasting days fly on with full career, but my late spring no bud or blossom shoot. In these two lines, my hasting days fly on with full career, but my late spring no bud or blossom shoot. Here, hasting refers speedily or moving hurriedly, and career means to move at great speed and in an uncontrolled way. In these lines, poet refers that his days, that is moving hurriedly, flies with great speed and in an uncontrolled way. John Milton is telling that his 23 years moved in an uncontrolled way. He can't believe that he reached at the age of 23. Next line. But my late spring no bud or blossom shoot. Here it is written as shoot. The meaning is shod. This line tells, even though he is nearing to manhood, late spring means it refers to late teenage. He reached at the age of 23, but he didn't do anything productive. In his case, he didn't use his talents or skills much. God has gifted him to write, but within this age, he doesn't show any progress. Next line. Perhaps my semblance might deceive the truth that I to manhood am arrived so near. These lines tells that John Milton is feeling that he is not mature enough. But his semblance, here semblance means appearance. But his appearance shows that he has arrived at manhood. He regrets against God's decision of not giving him enough time to attain maturity. And inward rightness doth much less appear that some more timely happy spirits endureth. So he is feeling that he is immature. His inward man is still young to use his talents, but he reached at the age of 23. He is mentioning about those people who managed to do the right things at the right time, but he didn't use any of his talents, and he wants to use his talents like people who managed to do at the right time. So he is mentioning here that he is at the age of 23 now, but he is not at all using his talents or skills for the glory of God. Next lines. Yet be it less or more, or soon or slow, it shall be still in strictest measure even to that same lot, however mean or high. So, in these lines, John Milton is telling about his manhood. John Milton reached his manhood. He regrets against God's decision of not giving him enough time to attain maturity, but then he realizes that whatever God does is only good for us. It does not matter whether he considers it less or more or sooner slow, but the decision of God will be in the strictest measure. So, in these lines, he is mentioning about the degree of his success. So, maybe we are evaluating the degree of others' success on the basis of their achievements, right? So, in these lines, John Milton is evaluating his own degree of his success, that it does not matter whether he considers his degree of success as less or more or sooner slow, but the decision of God will be in the strictest measure. Toward which time leads me, and the will of heaven, all is if I have grace to use it so, as ever in my great taskmaster's eye. In the last three lines, Milton completely surrenders his worry about success to the will of heaven. Initially, we can see that John Milton was worrying about his own success or achievements, that he didn't use any of his talents. But in the last three lines, Milton is completely surrendering his worry unto the hands of God. At the end, he displays his responsibility again by surrendering his fate and the great taskmaster's eye. Great taskmaster's eye refers to God Almighty. He don't have any opinion regarding God's will. Even the time allows with the will of God. John Milton is assuring himself that he will use his talents with God's grace and for the glory of God. There are some points that we have to keep in mind. In this poem, we can find words such as God, taskmaster's eye, about God's will. Because in the 17th century England, religion was a huge part of everyday life. John Milton belongs to this 17th century, and also John Milton was a Calvinist. Calvinism, which states that people's fate both in life and the afterlife is predetermined by God. This means that people can do nothing to change that fate. So, this theme you can find all through the lines of this poem. Thank you, everyone.